that has come out recently.
Legit wonderful.
Yes.
Enjoy yourself.
Don't enjoy yourself. You're only allowing these people to just make more of this with this secret Saiyan who's stronger than freaking SS Blue Vegito.
Cool.
And he's just in the shadows and never mentioned and in his secret prison.
Cool. Cool.
This is what we're getting.
Yep. But people recognize it's a fun joke, fluff, who gives a as opposed to here's Jiren, the greatest villain I've ever seen.
But he is, though.
Cool. Yep. Get in there.
That sounds like a very similar to reaction that you just had about Dragon Ball Heroes, though, so I'm confused.
No. I was talking, DA showed me another Heroes thing, and I'm just like, cool. No. Super is trash.
There's the tenors of BG's cools that you have to like really listen for the subtlety. Cool is like, yeah, he's okay with it. Cool is he's pissed off at it.
Be in there. Trunks and Vegeta's fuse. Cool. Get in there.
Jiren?
Yep.
No. Anything Jiren is like, nah. My girl Belle took me straight to the top.
Why am I not surprised, Belle?
They weren't ready for it.
You almost lost to a Ganon.
You don't. That's the story of my life.
You're almost losing to a Ganon?
Almost losing the Ganon. Because if no matter who you are, you're always one hit away from almost losing to a Ganon. It's not fair.
Is Ganon really that
I'm just imagining, like, just milestone moments of your life, like graduating high school, you almost failed. It's just your teacher stamping an F on your paper. Doria!
Go to your job interview for your current job, and he's just waiting there behind the door, charging the kick, just waiting.
All right, let me open this door to the workshop. No! Pokemon had another little trailer thing. Showed off some new Dynamax forms, which are like the giant forms. Charizard looks fucking
So dumb.
I'm so
I
tired
hate
of
all
Pokemon.
of it. How y'all hitting 1,000 with all the humans and the Pokemon are just stinking up the joint. That coffin looks so dumb.
I like Dynamax Charizard. He looks pretty fucking
They
sick.
keep willing out Charizard.
And I'm okay with that.
I'm sick of it. Blastoise and Venusaur gets no kind of love. Char is always Charizard, and I'm sick of it.
It's because Charizard, man.
Yeah. Charizard the best.
He's not the best.
He is the best.
Charizard the best.
He's not.
But
He is.
So they showed off a bunch of different Dynamax forms, and they have ones for the Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And I just love the fact that Let's Go Pikachu's Dynamax form is just original fat Pikachu.
Seriously,
It is
it's
all
amazing.
it is.
Can we talk about Meowths, though?
I hate it. It looks so stupid.
Long cat.
I hate it.
Very long cat.
Yeah.
Like, Pikachu's like, oh, okay, that's a cute callback. Meowth. Wait, guys, what the fuck?
That's the, that was the drugs finally kicking in. Like, they had some good designs, and then, like, at the peak of the creative portion of their high, they made Sirfetch'd, who's amazing. And then then they lost the buzz, and Dynamax Meowth came out of it. Robert Downey Jr.'s Doolittle.
Oh, did you
The
see
accent
the
accent is the thing.
Uh-huh.
Reddit, the Reddit stuff?
No.
Wait, what?
The Reddit stuff surrounding Doolittle. There was a dude that was working on a production company, and he just started releasing information. So the director was a piece of that clearly was out of his league and did not know what he was doing and
Oh, great.
micromanaging everything. So they would be shooting for the day, and the people would go, so where are the animals going to be placed? Because we need to know where Downey's going to be standing so we can place the animals there in post. And he goes, we'll figure it out. Let's get this shot of shooting.
Great.
And there's like 5 stories of that.
Interesting.
We'll feel it out. Great.
The dude ended it with, I don't know who the production company is that they brought in, but if they can make it even watchable, they all deserve a raise. So he's thinking this is gonna be a dumpster fire.
Interesting.
I'd believe it, which would be very sad for Downey. I feel like he'd just kind of be annoyed.
Who cares? He doesn't care.
He doesn't.
need it.
He's
This
made
dude
his
is
money.
doing. This is a passion project out there.
Yeah.
He's just like, whatever, freaking dog movie, polar bear, let's rock it.
Yeah,
He don't need this.
He's set for life.
Oh yeah, he's done. He's 100% done.
If they just go, this guy's eating 5 devil fruits, nobody wants to see that. Because it's such a
you
drop
say
from
that.
the older quality.
You say that.
You say that, BG, but we got Jinbei fans out there.
You have
Pumping
Jinbei
they fist.
stands out there. People who stand
Everybody
Jinbei.
wants to see SS5 Goku.
Everybody's waiting for that next one.
I think people just want Super Saiyan 4 back.
Oh, definitely. It's the best form. It's the best form.
It's the best form.
I just
But
on that
Go
note,
ahead.
you guys just put out as the first episode of A New Revisited.
Oh, it was so fun. It
Was it,
wasn't
DA?
fun at all.
Was it?
I got so angry, and I'm like, I hate feeling this way. Then I just got drained of energy. I'm like, well, at least I know that I'm not a murderer or anything. So it's like, all right, take me in, officer. I did it. Because I just got drained for like 5 minutes. I'm like, I gotta keep the energy up, and I'm just like, oh, BG, go on a huge rant. And BG's like, well, that sucks. Pause. Look at me. I'm like, I'm done.
Oh no.
Take the ball, BG.
Oh no. No, sir.
You
Because
dribbling the rest of this shot clock out, my friend.
The issue with that was you went 4.5 minutes. We played about 20 seconds. I went for maybe 40 seconds, and then you jumped right back in. So I'm like, oh, he's got more in him. And then for the beginning of part 2, you go on another rant.
Oh.
And then you just, for like 5 minutes, go, yeah, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, he threw.
Oh, he used it all up. He got nothing left.
You threw it all at
I'm
the
not
spirit
an
bomb and still
I'm
had
not an
14 more
angry
episodes to
person.
go.
But this dude was talking all this hot nonsense.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And I just exploded like 3 times. And then I just went, and it wasn't like fun. Genlock sucks. Oh my goodness. This was like, dude, you're doing stuff that legitimately pisses me off.
He was so mad.
Did y'all see that updated Sonic?
Yes.
I was
No.
gonna get to that after this.
Okay.
We stand with movies.
Alright. Yes. He looks so much better.
Look good.
Oh, what
It
happened,
looks
EA?
big good.
You were the one
no,
talking about.
no. I said it looked fine. Now
Uh-huh.
I'm saying it looks good.
Bruh.
I never said that looked good.
Bruh.
I was on the fine train.
That train was a crashing. Because he wasn't fine.
Yeah.
He wasn't okay.
We still doing this?
He wasn't a 5.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Podcast of Stuff, episode 185. So we are sans a Ralph. He is out celebrating 4th of July like a normal person. And
It shouldn't be because freaking
I'm just
stay at home.
you know, like a normal person in normal times would, but you know, Corona, wear masks, people. This is going to be a continued message every week of wear your damn mask and Black Lives Matter. So the main topic of this podcast is going to be some pretty serious stuff. And we definitely want BG to be here because he has direct ties to some of these situations. Before that, while we're waiting for him, because he's dealing with some other stuff, some other not as terrible news happened over the past couple weeks. I'm just going to go through some of those and we can talk out some things. One of them in particular, me and you will be talking about. Just going through the list. One, they announced Crash Bandicoot 4, which I love the name. Double entendre.
It's a good name.
Double entendre name. It's about time, figuratively and literally. And from the trailer, like, you know, Crash games, I've never played them, but I know they have a good style of humor. And one of my favorite things is like Dr. Cortex like just doing something evil, and some other new side characters like, oh my god, how many times have you had to deal with this guy? 3. That's I thought it'd be more. I just found that really pretty funny. It's just like, it does seem like it should be more, but no, just 3. It's only 3 games.
I was always a Spyro man, but the Crash games are fun. They're definitely fun.
I still need to play the remakes. It's on my list of an ever-growing list of games.
Ever-growing list.
Mixer is dead.
Rip.
Yeah, that happened like a little over a week ago at this point. All of the like big names just kind of like, you know, got their paychecks and, you know, are free to go about to whatever platforms that they want to. Some other people got transferred over to Facebook Gaming, but a lot of the lower end people are kind of just boned, which is unfortunate. I remember I had thoughts of maybe transferring the podcast over to Mixer. I was like, you know what? Twitch is kind of saturated. Maybe we go to Mixer and, you know, it's a smaller pond. Try that out. And glad I didn't do that.
Boy, it's the worst when it's just out of nowhere. It's just like, we're dead.
Yeah.
Pack your and get out. and then you got certain employers just like, yeah, I found out when you guys found out.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is always just like, again?
Yeah, the only people that knew were the partners, really. Like the ninjas, the shrouds, what have you. The big people. But yeah, some of the people will be moving to Facebook Gaming, which is still doing stuff, which is surprising. Sorry, I had a little text message. In the Black Lives Matter things that like are cool but still not what people are asking for. Disney is reimagining the Splash Mountain ride, which is from a pretty racist Disney movie, into a Princess and the Frog themed ride. It's still largely going to be the same ride. It's just going to be Princess and the Frog themed, which is one of those like cool. Now, what about that, you know, qualified immunity? All the stuff that the people are actually protesting about, but
not getting beaten to death by cops. You know. You're at the top, Disney. You could do something about this.
So there's that. Dr. Disrespect got banned indefinitely from Twitch, and people still don't know why.
Which is very odd.
Like, people are guessing, excuse me, based on his prior, you know, history. But, like, even his wife, who that's where a lot of the, like, you know, alleged bad history comes from, was him being unfaithful to his wife and what have you. It has made statements fully supporting him and what have you. So still no clue as to why. Maybe it's something where it's just like they were going after somebody else and then they're like, okay, to avoid being hypocritical, maybe we just actually banned it. I don't know. Like, they still haven't really given a clear answer.
It's one of those things where you would think that they, as big as disrespect was, you think they'd be like, okay, we're setting an example. Don't do what Dr. Disrespect did. Dr. Disrespect did this thing, don't do it. But we don't even know what he did to get banned.
Maybe
And it's not something so overt that we would know. Like, he just whipped out his penis and started helicoptering it. We would know that and know not to do that. But we don't know anything. And if it's something like he did in the past, like the bathroom thing, that's like, well, that was what, a year ago? Why are you banning him now?
So I have a question
it's a very
then,
weird
DA.
thing.
Have you ever played helicopter with your naughty bits?
I am a man. And there were times where, hey, there's no clean towels here. What am I gonna do? Just let it sit there? You know what I'm saying? Just wet?
Wow. All right, moving on. So my thought is because there's another prolific figure that got banned from Twitch recently, and maybe Dr. Disrespect was just a sacrificial lamb in order to ban Trump, because Trump got banned from Twitch too. So maybe, I don't know. It's
weird.
It's an interesting situation because, like, most other like a lot of other Twitch streamers that I know of and follow on Twitter and what have you, that's like their biggest concern is just like, okay, like the fact that Twitch can seemingly ban on a whim and not tell you why is kind of concerning. This is part of my livelihood, you know. So there is stuff like that. So yeah, that's a thing. Where thanks versus. Apparently that's clipped. Everyone, so Pokemon had another announcement stream over the course of the last 2 weeks, and it ended up just being this League of Legends Dota style Pokemon game that got announced, and everybody was pissed off. And boy, that was a weird time where that was the only drama of the week.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good time. We didn't get what we wanted. It's still a thing that's pretty good, but it's not exactly what we wanted. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to mildly boo you, but still buy the game.
Yep. On the terms of negative things, this will kind of, somewhat go into our later topic of just, in general, people being shit. So Last of Us 2 obviously came out. One thing, it is the, I think, fastest selling PlayStation 4 game of all time. So all of the, internet boycotts, they never work. It's just, I feel like it's proven at this point they don't work.
It's all talk.
Just
shut up.
Yeah.
You're going to buy it and you know it.
But something that came out over the last couple days, which is awful, is, so this game is a very heavy game. Stuff happens, and certain characters are involved with stuff happening. One of the characters that is involved in the heavy stuff happening is a character played by Laura Bailey. Which, on the positive side, most people, like, there's been this certain renaissance of people being really into buff female characters. The one character from, is it Dorimo? I forget the name of the manga.
I don't know what it is, but I know who it is.
Yeah, like she has white hair and is just an extremely buff character who has a heart of gold. Yeah, people, it's a lot of step on me type situations. But a lot of people were going about that with this character, Ash. I think that's her name in Last of Us 2. But because of the heavy stuff that happens around her character and other characters, people have been sending Laura Bailey death threats. I'm going to, come to your house and kill you and your child. Just awful, reprehensible things. And just point blank period, That's not fucking okay. At all.
It's never okay.
She is not the character.
Ridiculous.
She was paid to portray this character to the best of her ability, which from what I've heard, the performance is great. And like
across the board, performances are great in that game.
Yeah, and like one of the things too, which I found fascinating. I've seen some things where she posted some videos of her training for the role, which to me is like a fascinating thing that like I never really thought of, to where it's like, you know, like when you picture of someone like doing physical training for a role, you're thinking like Hugh Jackman, Chris Hemsworth getting all buffed up for Thor and Wolverine and what have you. But it's just like, no, you need to actually have the physicality of a character if they are a built survivor in the middle of, you know, a zombie apocalypse. Like, I'm just like, okay, like, especially with these mocap roles, I could definitely see where it's like physical training and stuff was definitely had to be a part of it. Also helps
I can
that
see cardio, but maybe not the arms and stuff because they're in the full body mocap suit. The definitions and stuff. I'm like,
I would think it makes it easier on the 3D artists. If your physicality is already close enough, they don't have to tweak it that much, you know? So I can see that. And I mean, as far as her getting into shape, it doesn't hurt that her husband, Travis Willingham, CrossFits and has just been a dude who's been in shape for a very long time. But yeah, she is not her character. No one who portrays, like, no actor who portrays a character deserves any type of hate like that. We've seen it across multiple different properties, games, movies, what have you. I'm forgetting the actress's name, well, actually, I do remember the character, but Rose from The Last Jedi. God.
Kelly Marie Tran.
Kelly Marie Tran got immense amount of hate just for portraying a character. And just, yeah, like, fucking stop.
People are weird and dumb.
Point blank, period.
It's like, shut up.
Like, it is a character. Like, you can have connections to a character, you can have emotional reactions about a character, and you can have feelings about a character, but they are just that, a character. And the people portraying them aren't their characters. And then the last little bit of news that coronavirus still happening. It's getting worse everywhere. People, again, wear your fucking masks. I've definitely, because I just moved recently, I've been going out and getting a few things here and there, but I'm just, at this point, I've been seeing Ohio has been getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So I'm just not going to leave my house for a while now. Everything ordered in, not going anywhere. The last little bit, and something in positive note for a community we're going to be talking about. The new Smash DLC character came out, Min Min from ARMS. She is weird, but fun. Very fun. Very fun. As is our custom, DA and I played a bunch of games. Florida laughs at you, Ohio. I mean, yes. But I mean, Texas can say the same thing. Just... Although I think Florida's worse than Texas because at least their governor is finally saying, hey, wear your fucking masks. But yeah, we played a bunch of different matches on normal levels and then on the FIFA Smash levels. And very different character to play, but still very fun. I will say, I don't know if you've playing Isabella online, if you've come across Min Mins. I've definitely come across Min Mins with Ridley. Ridley kind of wrecks Min Min.
And just the opposite, Isabel is torn apart by Min.
Ooh.
She is torn to shred. I was embarrassed.
I would think the fishing rod could get around some stuff.
No.
Okay.
The fishing rod can get around the big one because the big one's slower, but the other two are faster. So
okay,
that's a rip. And then most of her arms, as they're traveling, they just explode the Lloyd. So that's just a rip.
Ooh. Okay.
She gets eaten alive.
Yeah, just because Ridley has... It really stems from his third jump. And while he doesn't have, like, fast aerial mobility, he has aerial mobility. And so, like, what I'll typically do is just, like, chill on a platform or something and wait for her to punch once. And there's so much end lag if you just punch once that I can just fast fall down and immediately side B grab Min Min, get her off the level, and if I just get her off far enough, she's done.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? What can I do here? I gotta try to figure something out.
Yeah. I will say I came across new Ike and new Bayo. Fuck new Bayo. Hard.
Haven't had the pleasure.
It was awful. There were, like, again, like, the SDI, while, like, Ridley would have a hard time because he's a big body, I could still do it and, like, get out of some of her combos. Not happening anymore. It did not happen at all. I got 3-stocked. Utterly destroyed by a Bayo online. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I
then
was having problems with Corin. That was just like, is this something going on here? Yeah, I was having a couple.
yeah, and then Ike just hits so much harder now.
It's ridiculous.
I saw a video where people were showing new kill confirms with him, where it's like, yeah, like, he's not as one-dimensional anymore, but now he has, like, 50% kill confirms at the ledge, where it's like, you do, like, a reverse weak hit neutral air, so it's like, it's harder to hit, but if you hit it, you can just back air them off the level at 50 and they're dead. Just, you know. Or the worst one is, like, if you get, like, a falling up air or a neutral air, and you can just immediately up B them because that got buffed, that kills, like, easily at 50% on the edge of the stage. So, I am, after seeing all that stuff, I'm like, okay, I am fearful of Ike. I've played a few Falcons, but I haven't really noticed, like, I don't think the Falcons have gotten used to the changes yet. Like, I feel like the only Falcon... Go ahead.
I played 2 of them, and yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I feel like the only Falcon player that's probably, like, immediately transitioned is Fatality. That's the only one. The other ones are still trying to do old Falcon things, and I can still kind of get around that stuff. But with that...
Oh, really quickly. I don't know if we talked about it last week, but anybody should be able to voice anybody. I don't need to hear this. Black people should be voicing black people. It's a character. Let whoever is the best person for the role voice that role. Point blank, period.
The only difference is when you have an actual South African actress on your thing playing, and there's a South African star, and you still pick somebody else. That's a little weird.
If there's like an accent or a dialect involved, then you go to like Sweden. If it's just like, hey, any Swedish people available? No, okay, who can do a Swedish accent? But if it's just like, we got a black person, who are the black people to voice? Because can black people still voice white people? Is that still okay? Is it still cool for Phil Lamar to voice Samurai Jack? Is that still cool? Or are we just doing the black people? It's a whole big thing. And shut up. It's a character talking. Let them talk and be done with it. I don't like that.
I think the bigger issue than that is more predominantly white roles, or more availability of white roles than there are black roles or any other ethnicity roles. Where most like, I'm trying to think of black animated characters, and it's the fact that you have to kind of think about it, that I think that's the bigger issue. Where if there's a more varied amount of roles as far as ethnicities, genders, what have you, I feel like we could get closer to what people are thinking about, if that makes sense.
whoever's the best person for the role. Because at that point, look at Bob's Burgers. You got two dudes playing women. Are they not allowed? They're great, but they're not women, and you're taking away a woman's role. For me, it is whoever is best, unless there's a dialect or something specific. If it's like a disabled person, get a disabled person. There was a Family Guy episode where it was a Down syndrome person, and they got a Down syndrome. Fantastic, you do that, as opposed to somebody doing that. Deaf people, dialects, all that is good. I don't want to be like, okay, cattle up, black people, we got a role for you.
Okay, I can see that.
It's whoever's the best.
Alrighty. BG, welcome back. Or welcome.
Yeah.
All right. So, got through a bunch of other little topics. Now on to why, what this episode is mainly about. So, the FGC and the Smash Bros. Community, competitive Smash Bros. Community, is imploding at the moment. I had made a comment last week, which we were talking about kind of the beginnings of this. A lot of these controversy is not the right word. A lot of, like, what would you call this? It's not drama. Allegations. Beginning of these allegations. I think I made the statement of like, yeah, like Smash has a few things here and there, but at least they seem to kind of have their shit together. Take that comment, throw it, throw it out, launch it into space, put it in a black hole. It is bad. There have been numerous cases of sexual harassment, rape, sexual harassment or sexual relations with minors, and just other general forms of harassment throughout the Smash community and a good chunk of the FGC. And it is a lot of big hitting names. Nairo being probably the biggest. And then just very recently, Zero from Smash Bros. Yeah. Like, there is, if you go to the Smash Bros. Reddit, there is a thread right now that has a list of every single allegation, the people involved, responses, and what have you. And the list
Well put together
is long.
Extensive.
Yeah. I mean, just eyeballing it, it's close to 100 or more allegations. And just a lot of big names, smaller names, what have you. And like the big ones from Smash are Nairo, Keitaro, who is a prominent Smash commentator, D1, who is a prominent Smash commentator.
D1 is not a great one because literally hours before his allegation came out, he was in a roundtable podcast discussing this type of stuff and what we could do as a community to do better and protect the children and such.
And that's kind of what happened with Zero, too. He had put a statement out saying, like, you know, trying to basically disassociate himself with D1, with Keitaro, because he lived with them for a given period of time. And then some people came out with stuff that he did. And it just kind of goes to show, and there are some different community leaders out there that are kind of basically just saying that, like, the adults in the room fucked up. We failed. Couple of the voices that I've seen that have been speaking pretty good stuff are Coney, who is a Smash commentator, Leffen, who I was not expecting, but he has said some really good stuff, TK Breezy, another Smash commentator, and then Esam, who is a player, and also DeBuzz. And Yeah, I mean, like I'm definitely just an outside spectator and some of this stuff. Like the straw that broke the camel's back was a player named Puppe, who
Oh yeah, that was bad.
is a very young man. I don't even believe he's 18 yet. I think he's like 17 or 16. But at the age of 14, was in essence kind of groomed, and had sexual relations with a female Smash commentator named Senpai, who is close to 30, I believe. And she's had, at this point, multiple allegations from different people addressed to her. Has not commented on it at all. I believe she was also engaged to another pro player as well.
Oh, at this point, she has not returned to Twitter.
Which
Yeah.
is, you know what's going on with this bull crap. Because at a certain point, she had a her banner said "Speak Out" or something, and then she changed it to
It was originally "Speak Up," and she changed it to "Do Your Best."
you saw that.
Yeah. And yeah, like thankfully, just like obviously Puppe's statements then brought about a whole bunch of other stuff. Captain Zack talking about Nairo, who Captain Zack was also involved with the like most before all of this most recent big Smash Bros. Scandal, which was his relationship with Ally and then the match fixing. But there's, I mean, all these different allegations. Puppe was almost at the point of suicide, but thankfully family and friends are with him and helping him out, which is good. But yeah, like a lot of what happened and just like what a lot of the kind of older figureheads are saying is that a lot of the Smashers who started in like the Brawl days when they were, you know, all 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, and then aged up into Smash Ultimate, never actually grew up. They were in this life where people were living in this mansion with a bunch, like 20 to 22-year-olds were living with 15 to 17-year-olds, where there was parties all the time, there was drinking, underage drinking. A lot of this stuff was encouraged as far as treating women like crap and kind of objectifying them and just all this different stuff. And I mean, when you're brought up in that environment, that's kind of what you know. And people are now coming to terms with that. But this is not purely a Smash thing. That's Smash is just all I'm like kind of directly focused on, just because I play the game a bunch and have been recently-ish just like watching competitive Smash. But this stuff is happening in other communities as well. And BG, if you want to kind of elaborate on that.
Oh, the FGC stuff?
Yeah.
Well, it starts at the very top. EVO, the world tournament, like basically our only world tournament, or widely recognized as the world tournament.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main creators and organizers was a man by the name of Joey, Mr. Wizard. And recently it came out that Mr. Wizard used to pay boys to, oh my God, these fireworks. Used to pay boys to take off their shirts and jump in pools, underage boys. And somebody told the story of him being bet by Joey that his penis wasn't a certain size, and then Joey busted in to see it and all this extra stuff while he himself was still underage. So
Took a picture
Joey
of it
completely,
too.
yeah. Mr. Wizard completely removed from Evo, cut
With
all
the
ties.
quickness.
And then he just went into full like scumbag mode. He started trying to victim blame the person, like you've had your own allegations, retweeting people with that. He talked about how the DMs were fake because his name wasn't Mr. Wiz back then, not understanding how DMs work. Somebody posted some screenshots of like opening lines, the very first thing he says, like, send me your dick pics or something. Like, just awful, disgusting stuff. So he's just donezo.
He came out and
There's
eventually fessed up to it, right?
no, he basically said,
I made a lot of mistakes. in
yeah,
the
I'm sorry for
past.
what I did in
Generic.
the past, and yeah, generic like
Copy and
corporate
paste.
corporate apology. You wouldn't even know what he was sorry for. Like, he didn't own up to that thing, and it's just like, nah, screw that. He was lying. He's a piece of shit too. We're not yeah, all bad. One that came out today, Noel Brown, very prominent member of the FGC, widely known for things like Marvel, widely known for being problematic. He has been in fistfights at tournaments because he walked in on his ex having sex with a player, I believe it was. This is all allegations because, or speculation, because nobody knows the exact story, but I think he went to jail for that one. He has fought on camera, like he just jumped up and started punching people or punching somebody. He has grabbed a girl's butt on camera. And most people are just like, he's an awful person. And there was an allegation today that he just straight up raped a girl twice. Like, they attended a party together. He took her into the bathroom while she was completely hammered, had sex with her before she even knew what was happening. They were having sex. Then he got them a lift, and then she doesn't remember most of the night after that and just woke up to him on top of her. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, that's something that's going on right now with Noel Brown. The Christie stuff literally doesn't matter at this moment.
Yeah.
There's one with a friend of mine that I am not quite talking about. Just know that it's not great. I'll tell the story as the person put it. The guy's name is Devil May Spy, DMS. You guys might have even met him at some point. He wears a lot of Sasha Banks apparel. So there's another player named Infinity, and you guys have definitely seen her because she'll cosplay as like Poison Ivy and Catwoman, and she was at Yoma last year. The last one, last year.
I feel like I remember her.
Mm-hmm. She's usually with Forever King because that's her boyfriend.
Okay.
So yeah, if you see Forever King with the woman, it's usually her. So she was there. So the story goes that she was 17 at the time, and he was making a lot of like sexual comments to her in texts and DMs and such. And being under 17, that's just kind of like no es bueno. And then he's making jokes like 28 days till you turn 18, or I'll see you next time when you turn 18, or I can't say what I want to say until you turn 18. Just like that's grooming behavior. So where was I in the story? After the text and stuff. So he meets up with her a year later. She's 18 at this point, and they're making out, and she didn't mind. Like, she consented to all that stuff, to making out, him touching her, whatever. What she didn't consent to, and again, this is all her words, is that he would hop into bed with her every night and like touch on her and stuff. She didn't consent to that stuff. And then one night he came in again, and they started making out or whatever, and he put her hand on his crotch, and she took it away, and then he took her hand again and put it back, and she was just like, I'm just gonna give him a hand job to get this over with. So she did that. Then she called her friend because I guess she was afraid of what might happen further along. And that's basically the story there. He just kind of, in her words, forced her into a sexual act. Who the else is there? Because a lot of the FGC stuff, a lot of the Smash stuff is like pedophilia stuff, child predatory behavior, and a lot of the FGC stuff is just like sexual harassment and rapes, and neither one of them are any better or worse than the other. So it's all just kind of running in my mind because I have seen just so much of it, and it's really just wearing me down because I'm actually part of this community. Like,
Yeah.
It's real bad when I know who these players are, and I don't mean players like people that push buttons. I mean the accuser and the accused. When I have personally met people, shook their hands, played games with them, slept in the same room with them, in some cases the same bed with them. It's just like it's really hard to like put it to words how awful everything is.
Yeah.
If I can remember some more, I will. But again, it's all running together.
Yeah.
And this freaking Twitter thread of all these allegations is like 60, 70 posts long.
Mm-hmm. But
And I wish they would stop with these fireworks.
Really not the time.
4th of July.
But who's celebrating it for what reason?
What's there to celebrate?
What's there to celebrate?
America.
2020 is just the beginning of Avatar. It's just like everything was cool until 2020 came rolling around. Then it just went oof.
Have been watching Avatar on Netflix. It's been great. Love that show. But yeah, just at the end of the day, like more of these allegations are coming out. Just there's a lot of people. This is giving them courage. There is some, I'll call it noise, in there as well of fake allegations and what have you. And it seems, thankfully, a lot of that seems to be getting sifted, which is good.
Oh, there's actually a story of fake allegations in the FGC. One of the players named Bum, his Twitter handle is like Bum1356 or something, but he goes by Bum. Some girl that wanted to mess with him and he turned her down just was like, yeah, this is my story of what happened with Bum and such. And then he was just on a stream like, no, here's texts and DMs, and no, it did not happen the way she said. But you know, that's all speculation and allegations as well, because that story still needs to come out. But yeah, that's what happened there. Really weird stuff.
The biggest one in Smash right now was, I'll say, because it got proven false in a regrettable way, Mewtwo King.
Yep.
Basically, there was some allegations from 2014, 2015 where the people were saying, hey, you basically masturbated and ejaculated on people while they were sleeping. And he literally had to come out and say, yes, I had a botched circumcision when I was younger, and it is almost physically impossible for me to do that. And it's like, he had to reveal that in order to get out of that stuff, which is mind-boggling. But what I will say, like,
just deleted their tweet.
Yeah,
get to do that
like nothing ever happened.
Yeah. And also kind of goes to the people are people. That's a big thing. Like one of the coolest things that I've seen out of this is obvious. Like everything leading up to this is not cool. So Zero, former pro Smash 4 player,
legit one of the worst ones, and not in terms of what happened, because that was bad enough, but in the terms of they're lying, this is what actually happened, blah blah blah. He released 2 statements before actually admitting, okay, yeah, it happened the way they said.
Yeah.
The worst thing about all of this is why it's so hard for people that are that have been victims to come forward, because you have all these people being attacked and just death threats and all this extra stuff. People are legit just going, I believe you, because despite what people may think, women do lie. Bruh, like, what are you talking about? Is this the time to be going, yeah, women can lie too? Just ridiculous. It's just showing how terrible people can actually be.
Yeah, the mob mentality is.
There was somebody like I would never sympathize with these people, blah blah blah, or I would never condone what these people did. But I also feel a little bit sorry for them because it's all like this mental thing, and it's hard to. And it's like, dude, they're raping children. I don't. There's no mental thing here. There's nothing to sympathize with. Lock them all up.
So,
So
in the case of Zero, ended up he at the end of it was trying to solicit nudes from a minor, and it took, as BG said, 3 air quote confessions in order to actually get that out of him. The good thing to come out of it is, so his former sponsor at this point, Tempo Storm, one, they dropped him, obviously. But the thing they are also doing, which was like, okay, that's really fucking cool, is they are getting, basically trying to connect with the victims and actually with Zero, as in terms of counseling, mental health help, and what have you, as far as after this to basically start the healing. And I do want to, like, I don't want to refute what you said, BG, as far as like what these people did is reprehensible and they deserve punishment. But in the case of Zero, like, one of his things where he gave his life story, he didn't say it was for sympathy, it was for sympathy. But one of the things where Coney, the Smash commentator, basically with that story, and then just the rest of, basically Zero growing up in the Smash community, basically where every adult in his life failed him. And there is a problem of abuse begetting abuse. And I don't think that should be overlooked. That's just one thing I kind of wanted to comment on. It doesn't excuse anything that he did.
A lot of times when you look at things like serial killers or serial rapists or whatever, there's usually some type of abuse that happened in their childhood. And there's definitely some type of issue there where it snaps in their mind, and they're just, maybe it's a shutdown or whatever, but it's definitely something that happens where the abuse plays a large part in how they develop further, and they may just not have the same capacity they would have had before, or if that had never happened. Now, in that aspect, I absolutely agree. At the same time, lock them all up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They did the crime. Do the time. that there's no question about that.
And this is another thing I'm really, really tired of people talking about. This should be reserved for a court of law.
Yeah.
Do you know how many rapes go reported that do not get convicted?
Exactly.
How many rapists? It's so hard to have proof. Even things like DMs and text can be misconstrued, and it's obvious by what we see on Twitter itself at this very moment, where it's like, you're taking this out of context. Here's what really happened, and you have all these people going, "Oh, okay, I see it from your way. They were lying, or they did take it out of context." Blah 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 blah. What do you think a jury of 12 people is gonna think? You think they're all just going to go? See, people think the court system is so perfect that it's just like, oh, you did this? Well, you are in jail now. Here's your punishment for doing things. And that's just not how it works. Too many people get off. So just going, okay, I'm going to take this to the courts. One, people may not either have the financial or emotional capacity to endure a lengthy court trial, and 2, they may not even have the sufficient evidence to get a conviction.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Go ahead.
Especially if said allegations happened way long ago, like
you can't get a rape kit. You can't get anything.
And that's another.
You just have to go, oh, this is what this person did to me, and you just gotta hope 12 people agree that what they did to you, what you said, actually happened.
And that's another thing too, especially with a female actually reporting it. The actual gathering of evidence, at least from what I have read from a rape from a rape kit is traumatizing in and of itself.
Yeah, it's very invasive.
Yeah, like, so there is a multitude of reasons why, in general, women just don't come forward at all. And when they do, typically nothing comes of it. Like that statement of they should take it to a court of law. If the court of law actually did its job, sure, that's what should happen. But it isn't. Is this?
We see police in the courts failing people to this day.
Yeah.
At this very moment, there are people just being failed.
There's kind of a protest about it over the last, and it's still going on for the past month.
Do you think a freaking of some Twitter DMs from 3 years ago is gonna be enough for people to go, oh yeah, she was raped, oh yeah, she was sexually assaulted, oh yeah, she didn't, that wasn't the intent, she couldn't give consent, like that girl that talked about Noelle Brown raping. Who can just say, oh yeah, she was too drunk to give consent? She would need witnesses, all types of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's made even worse because she was a openly sexual person and very promiscuous. So she slept around and she admits it. She had her fun, which is, there is no problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, one of the things that Noelle said after he had got done raping her, allegedly, the second time, she asked, why would you do that? And he said, because my friend slept with you. Just seeing her as something to have sex on, not with meat. On. Yeah, just meat, just a toy. And you think, one, people want to go through a court system of telling people this, and then two, again, what happens if they don't get their conviction? Is that instantly going to prove that person's innocence? Or was there just not sufficient evidence?
Yeah, I mean, a
reasonable
big
doubt exists.
Yeah, a big example of this, and I'm forgetting the guy's name, but that college kid, the white college kid.
Oh, one of the worst stories I've ever heard.
Turner, I believe.
I believe you are correct.
And yeah, like basically multiple witnesses. There's so much evidence against him, but he got off easily.
He got off because the judge, I think he got like a year probation and like community service because the judge said something like, I don't want to ruin this young man's life for one mistake or something like this. There was I had retweeted this was like a month ago, where a woman was just going like, why don't people step forward? Well, here's actual judges saying stuff to victims of sexual assault and all this. And it was some of the worst things I've ever heard. And to think that a judge said this to a woman that came forward, went through the correct process, and just went, somebody had just went, are you sure that's how it's happened or something like that? Are you sure you didn't want it? Like, it was so disgusting. Bruh, it was, and it's a judge saying this. It was so disgusting. America does not work in the way that your mind thinks it works. This is just like when I was telling the story of how I have to stop at the front of a store to make it look like I'm not stealing anything. And Mike's just like, I've never even thought about doing some stuff like that. I've never heard of something like that. That's because he has never had to deal with something like that. If you had to deal with the court system and how it treats people, it's awful. I was actually on the jury. I believe you could talk about it after the fact. I was actually on the jury on a sexual assault case. It is not the smooth sailing he did this that you think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awful.
Bad. I mean, at the end of the day, don't, like, the big thing with especially with the Smash community is, like, a lot of these parties were 30-something-year-olds mingling with close to 18-year-olds. That should just not happen. That does not compute to me at all. I don't have anything in common with an 18-year-old at the as far as right now,
See, that's part of the problem. Because they had something big in common. Video game, Smash.
They had one thing in common.
Yeah, but it's such a big part of their lives.
It's enough.
Just imagine something you're really passionate. Like imagine back in the AMV days, like when you were heavy into editing. And imagine you're 32 and there's somebody 17. It's just like, yeah, we may have this one thing in common, but it's such a big part of both of our lives that it's enough for us to be cool with each other. That's the issue. There was something in common there. And what was in common was this big thing that took up a large chunk of your life where you're practicing 6, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. And it's something you have in common.
That's true. And really, actually, now that I'm like just mulling on it a little bit, I'm Amber. Amber is a lot younger than all of us. So, and we share many things in common. So, okay, there's that. Okay, so let me rephrase. Don't even think about any form of attraction for someone that young.
Or if you passively think, oh wow, they're cute, and then you learn their age, you shut all of that down.
Exactly.
And if you can't, just walk out.
Just walk away.
Like, okay, I can't. I'm not gonna engage with this person.
Yeah. There was a.
Or if you still think that way, don't act on it.
Yes.
There are any
There's
number
a
of
lot
things.
of things that you could do.
There are a lot of steps
insertion.
to not rape a child.
Mm-hmm. And now, like, let's be clear here. Like, even if the other party is quote unquote interested, it's a child. It's still statutory rape. Let's be clear here.
I just talked about this on Twitter, where it's like, you have all these kids and minors attacking all these accusers, like the people that accuse Zero, where it's just like, you're a liar and all this extra stuff, because they don't have the mental capacity to go, oh wow, maybe Zero did do this. Maybe somebody I idolize is actually bad. It's like, no, I idolize them, so they're instantly good. And you think they have the mental capacity to go, yes, I consent to this sexual act with this person? They're not developed enough for that.
So, like, one of the bigger cases with Nairo was Captain Zack. Captain Zack was 15, Nairo was 20. And it was basically, from the accounts, it was flirtatious both ways, but Nairo should have shut that shit down. And there was an example where DeBuzz apparently Captain Zack was getting flirtatious with DeBuzz. And DeBuzz basically recounted the whole experience, and he's like, and I immediately shut that down because I needed to be the adult in that situation. It's like, thank you for doing the bottom line. What should be the bottom line?
Yeah, it's not hard to be the adult in the situation.
Yeah. So yes, be fucking adults. Bottom line, don't have relations with children. No means no.
Oh yeah, okay. So this is another thing. There's a large contingency of men that think there's like a song and dance to get a woman to sleep with you. So where it's just like, if you have her at your house and whatever, she's going no, and you're just like, come on, and eventually she gives in. You just go, okay, she was just trying to keep her virtue, quote unquote, but she did want it. Coerced sex is still assault. Like, coerced sex is not, it's not consensual.
I've had problems with stuff like that in various fictions. Like, even like on lighter things. Like, there was something, honestly, like, this is so weird, but like, I always had a problem with this scene. Have any of you ever seen the live action Cinderella movie?
Yes.
There's a scene where Prince Charming and Cinderella are, in this garden or whatever, and there's this swing, and Prince Charming is just like, why don't you sit in this swing? He's like, no, I don't want to. Why don't you sit in this swing? Okay. And I'm just like, that seems... I don't like
Seems
that.
like there would be problems later.
Yeah, like it just like this the way that sat with me, where he's just like, "Hey, do this." No, do it. Okay, I'm just like, that's not that's not romantic at all, and that's like in a very lighthearted way the same thing. Is where you keep pressuring. It's fucking peer pressure in a extreme way. It's peer pressure. It's like do this, do this, do this, do this, and finally the person relents. And yeah, no means no. I have had relationships where it's like they're starting out, things progress, girl says no, and I just say okay.
I've said this before. I have had legit, do you consent to me flirting with you? Like legitimately, I'll be flirting heavy in a text, and I'll just be like, hey, I am a flirt. If you do not want this, just let me know, and it will stop. And I don't care if something ruins the mood, because a lot of people are just like, it ruins the mood. I don't care if it ruins the mood. I would rather have the mood ruined than to 2 years later just be like, I didn't want that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no means no.
Do they have 1,000,000 fireworks? It hasn't stopped for a second.
There's one more thing I wanted to say. No means no. Fuck. I mean, I could kind of leave it at that, but I remember there's one more thing I wanted to go on. Don't
Be cool.
Don't
if you
mess
can't
with
handle
children.
your alcohol, don't drink.
That.
Don't give
No,
alcohol to
You
children.
cannot
Stop that.
give
Don't bring
consent.
kids to parties and crap like that.
If you cannot, you cannot give consent when you are drunk. Point blank. Period. So don't. Yeah. Be an adult at the party.
Ban alcohol. Prohibition. I'm bringing it back.
That I don't agree
said
with.
this on Twitter. Alcohol is not the problem. It's the people that consume the alcohol that's the problem.
But it's also not the problem.
All alcohol does is lower the inhibitions of a person. So if you're already a pedophile, rapist, or whatever within your mind, within your heart, within your soul, alcohol is just going to bring that out. I've said it myself. I have been stupidly drunk. I've done it at YomaCon where I've been stupidly drunk. I'm not grabbing at some girl's tits from it, because that's not who I am. But the next person might be that person, and then alcohol just allows them to go, whatever, here's your tits.
Exactly.
But no, that's not alcohol.
No, but the alcohol is allowing them to do that thing. So cut that step out.
No.
If you know that that's going to make you do that, or you assume that it's going to make you do that, or if you have done it before under those conditions.
See, that's more so trying to protect yourself from getting caught grabbing at a girl's tits.
Or others.
These fireworks.
I'm just aggressively anti-alcohol.
Yes,
So
I understand you. You hate seeing people sloppy drunk and just like
hate it.
Yes, I understand you do not like alcohol. But to me, the problem isn't the alcohol, it's the people. Of course, the alcohol to the minor is absolutely a problem. When you're asking a 15-year-old, we're asking a 15-year-old girl if she's drank before.
Amber is of legal drinking age. I want to make that fucking perfectly clear.
She wasn't.
When you're asking a 15-year-old girl if you drunk before, and she goes yes, and you just go okay, cool, that is a f***ing problem.
Yeah. So yeah, this is more than likely going to continue. As far as
finally, I found the thread of all the stuff the judges say to people that have been victims of sexual assault. Here's just a few I'm just gonna read out. As the gentleman on the jury will understand, when a woman says no, she doesn't always mean it. This is a judge saying this to people.
Goodness.
Men can't turn their emotions on and off like a tap like some women can. I hope you'll be able to keep your well-paid job, and the couple of weeks you spend in prison will be treated by your employers as part of your holidays. It seems on the evidence that this child has not suffered as a result of these offenses. Judge Hutton talking about an 8-year-old girl who had been sexually abused for a year by a convicted child molester. This was a rare sort of rape. It is not like someone being jumped on in the street. This is within the family and does not impinge on the public. A judge who gave a man a 2-year suspended sentence for raping his ex-wife. You show concern and consideration by wearing a contraceptive.
Oh my
If
God.
someone doesn't want to have sexual intercourse, the body shuts down. The body will not permit that to happen unless a lot of damage is inflicted. The victim in this case, although she wasn't necessarily willing, she didn't put up a fight. Why couldn't you just keep your knees together? Why didn't you just sink your bottom down in the basin so he couldn't penetrate you? Pain and sex sometimes go together. And so on. Oh, and it's a long list.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Just imagine a woman that had been raped in court hearing these things.
But yeah, just go to court. The law will take care of it.
The law will just take care of it. It'll just take care of you. That's what the law does, because that's what the law is supposed to do. What the law is supposed to do and what it actually does are two totally separate things.
Yes. So yeah. More of these allegations are going to be coming out.
Absolutely. It's one literally daily. There's somebody in my DMs right now, I'm not gonna say who it is, where we're just going back and forth and we're just like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like we just see it every day and we're just telling each other the stuff that's happening. It's so ridiculous. And he is a prominent member of the fighting game community.
Oh, hey, Ralph. He's in the chat right now.
I see.
Oh boy. But yeah, so just as a blanket statement to kind of end this podcast on, to the victims out there, believe victims. Point blank period. Like, there's obviously, like we said, there's some noise out there, people doing fake stuff, but to me, as a general rule, believe the victim.
And here's the thing. Believe the victim does not mean attack the accused.
Yes.
It means believe in their story. You don't even have to necessarily agree with everything they're doing. Just believe in the possibility that they're telling the truth. Not to just go, well, I doubt certain aspects of the story. Just sit back, let it all come out, and just believe in them for now.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So yeah, believe victims. If it comes to light that what happens is true, the accused deserve the punishments that they get. I also believe that as well as the punishment, these people also need to get help.
Counseling is 100% I am on.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there where it's just like, go die, rot in prison. To me, we need to start normalizing. It's like, you get punished, but then healing needs to happen in multiple ways.
I feel like a lot of the time the problem is these people don't even understand what they did was wrong.
Yeah.
Or why it was wrong. And it needs to start there where it's just like, why is what you did wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to fully understand that.
Yes. And then overall, at the end of the day, these communities are going to come out better because of this.
Yeah, a lot of people are just like, oh, the FGC smash, it's all done, it's over, blah 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 blah. What does your community lose by getting rid of pedophiles and rapists?
Yes. Exactly.
If your community dies because a bunch of pedophiles and rapists are no longer allowed, it was not worth saving.
Yeah. So these communities they're going to come back. They're going to come back stronger. They're going to come back safer. They're going to come back more accepting. And I am looking forward to that day, especially after all this coronavirus stuff actually calms down. Actually calms down.
Fireworks? That's a party going on outside.
Bruh, I was driving back with Peanut and I just saw a whole block party, not a mask in sight.
Boy. I was out there.
And meanwhile, I'm just in this heat, breathing like. But I'm wearing my mask.
Yep. Anytime I go out, necessity.
It's gotten to the point where I used to walk out the door and get all the way to my bus stop and just be like, I don't have my mask, and I'd have to turn around, get it, and then Uber where I was going. It's gotten to the point where it's just like, before I even walk out the door, I know that mask is on my face.
Phone, keys, wallet, mask. Just add a face touch to the pat. But yeah, I truly believe that these communities are going to come back stronger. The
There's no
FGC
more
is not
normal.
dead.
Normal is dead.
Hmm?
There's always going to be this hanging over people's heads. Parties are going to not be the same. The tournaments are not going to be the same. Normal is dead.
Well, no, this normal is dead. That I can agree with. This normal is dead.
There is no normal.
I think there needs to be a new normal.
There'll be a new norm.
Yes, exactly.
But it will always have the shadow of the old norm.
That's good to me.
Yeah.
Because it just means people are more vigilant.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you go to a party and it's just like,
Don't go to parties.
there's nothing wrong with a party.
There's nothing right with parties. Don't socialize.
Here's the thing. I have
Hermit!
I have about 4 stories of women in the FGC that have faced a lot of like bullshit, and it's not my story to tell, so I don't tell people these stories. But I have personally seen a lot of bullshit, or personally been told a lot of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that personally happened, and I made sure to protect her on this. One of my friends was in a hotel room and we were drinking, and
Drinking, huh?
Yep. Now, here's the thing. Me and her were drinking, and we were fine because we had drank before and after a tournament, and there were no problems. There's never any problems. There's never any problems with me because I'm me at all times. The other dude was completely sober, and he's just trying to hop into bed with her, and I could tell how uncomfortable she was. So I kept just like sticking around and not letting them be together or be alone together. So, and eventually he just left. So I have personally seen or heard a lot of bush in the FGC.
So yes, I am. End of the day, I am looking forward to see what happens going forward. I think Leffen put it actually pretty well, where he said this is when a lot of this news first broke. He said this is not a bad day. This is a good day. It's good because things are actually coming out. Things that need to get aired out, that need to happen, that to facilitate the change are happening. So yeah, I think that's all we can really say at this moment, just because most of these stories aren't ours to tell. It's for these people and the victims to give their share, and
That's
What?
another thing. I know I keep going. That's another thing. But a lot of people are like, if you knew this story, why didn't you tell anybody? Because it's not their story to tell. No, who wants to know about somebody that was being abused and then run to Twitter and go such and such abused such and such, and then that person did not want that to come out or did not want it to come out in that way. There are so many people that are just like, I'm not ready to tell my story. Maybe I will be someday, but I'm just not ready to tell it. Like, oh my god, I forgot about this story. Evo After Party 2017. One of my FGC friends quit Evo after this. She lobbied, or they lobbied. I forgot. They like to be identified as they. They lobbied hard for this. So at the Evo After Party, a bunch of people got roofied. Like a not
zero number.
Not a noticeable amount of people. In fact, one of my other friends, his girlfriend got roofied there. Now, nothing happened to her, but it was just like a bunch of the drinks were spiked. And the other friend, they were just like, we need to investigate every aspect of this. They pushed so hard for Evo to do anything, and they were completely stonewalled and shut down. Absolutely disgusting. I just learned about this like last week. What is wrong with you people?
I thought that was 2019.
Nope, 2017.
Okay.
Maybe it was 2019. I might be confusing my Evos.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 2019. Like I've seen a couple of different people post about that. But
Well,
same story.
Yeah. It's same different day.
Yeah. But yeah. DA, do you have any fun facts to
No, not the week.
I didn't think so. Did not think so.
Ban fireworks. How about that?
Oh yeah, they never said
Get it out of here.
2017. Okay. Oh yeah.
Because it's going to be going on for the next couple days. Because people go like that. I got some extra fireworks.
Bro, they were firing fireworks at 4 p.m. That was one that went off and DX just went, oh, what?
It was so bright.
It was so bright. There was not a cloud in the sky. They're shooting off fireworks like you could see them.
Yeah. Not as many as you guys, but I got a few going off here as well.
Nah.
No, we live next to baboons. That's the problem.
All right. Well, with that, thank you everybody for tuning into this episode of the podcast of stuff. Happy 4th of July.
No.
We will see you.
There's
nothing to celebrate.
There's nothing to celebrate. You can't celebrate America. You can't celebrate the people of America. You can't celebrate individuals in America. There's nothing to celebrate here.
I'm trying to think of something to celebrate. Anything. Water.
Right.
Water's good.
That.
Water's great. Let's celebrate water.
They're still dealing with that.
Oh, goddamn. All right. with that, we will see you in roughly 2 weeks. Laters, everybody.